Good morning, guys. So, fixing to make breakfast this morning. Our fire pit, our coals and everything's still super hot inside here, so we're gonna get everything ready. Yesterday when we were traveling, we had came across some cactus. So, what we're gonna do today is get this thing prepped and ready for cooking without getting ourselves stuck. Now remember, I said the best way to deal with these cactus pods is to cut the sockets out. And I showed you why, because there's a lot of spikes underneath the surface of this. So just throwing it on the fire does not get it all out. Maybe some cactus, but this particular cactus, it does not, because those sockets has that stuff inside of it. So what we're doing right now is getting that done, making a horrible job at it because I actually just woke up and I'm hungry. But don't worry, we also got Spam, and my brother hooked me up with quail eggs. So we got quail eggs for this breakfast today and tomorrow. So we're gonna be eating good today. Alright guys, so remember how I said you can't just burn off these spines from inside a cactus? So I went and cut right down the center there. See how these spines are embedded into the flesh? Alright, hopefully it's coming up. That's why even if you burn the outside, there's a whole bunch of these spikes right there. So, certain cactus, I guess maybe you can. My experience with them, well, I just showed why I cut it all the way out. Because if you don't, you can get really messed up trying to swallow that. So, that's why I always say take the time, cut it open, lay it out. A little bit of oil. Yeah, I packed me some oil to cook with this trip. Because you just never know. Let this heat up, we'll get that cooked up. Alright guys, so our cactus looks done. Done-ish. We're going to put it in a cookware set. Gotta keep it a little warm without burning my hand. Alright. Put that away for now. That way it stays warm. Let's get our Spam on. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this up. In our pot here, and now we'll get our eggs cooking. Oh, the coffee is awesome. Alright, so these are quail eggs. As some of you might know, my brother raises quails. This egg here got mashed up in my pack, so I'm not sure if we're going to be using that. I don't know when it happened. But quail eggs are actually really good. But you got to get through the sac inside this thing to get to the egg. So I got a little oil inside this to help with the cooking. Alright guys, so got our quail eggs. Get our other meal in here. Got our Spam. And we got our Cactus. So let's go eat dinner. Breakfast, I'm sorry. So right fast guys, to my brother. Yeah, I got more quail eggs. Breakfast for tomorrow morning. Excuse me. To my brother, definitely do appreciate the quail eggs. They were actually very good. So I threw one out because it was all mashed up and stuff. So technically I ate 11 quail eggs, 11 eggs in that omelet. These are 12 a piece. So the packaging worked really well. I'm just bad about dumping my backpack, and these were on my outer pouch of my backpack, and I think that's what actually damaged one of the quail eggs. It wasn't your packaging. So that was very great breakfast, man. I appreciate it. So I'm making my coffee. I'm gonna have me a cigarette. I'm gonna get camp took down. I'm gonna get this coal bed covered in dirt. The fact is, leaving an open, exposed coal bed, and as you can see the type of leaves that are on these trees, I don't want any fires or anything like that starting. So we'll cover it up with dirt. That way it's buried. It'll eventually burn itself out. I wanted to do some hypothermia training today, and I'm hitting and missing on actually doing it, guys. I brought my full kit with me. I did not bring a change of clothes, but I was wanting to do, because it's been getting cold at night. It's like 32 degrees. So it's perfect weather to accidentally fall into the river and have to dry out my gear. The problem is, I am so deep out here, if I mess up, I'm screwed. I'm already out here by myself. Now my wife has my location. She's got the maps and everything. She knows where I'm supposed to be at. But if I do this and I screw up, I'm done. So I think what I'm going to do is wait till my brother comes out to the woods with me. That way I have somebody else in case my accident experiment fails. Because the fact is, I try to lead by example, lead by showing you what works and what doesn't. And the only way to correctly do that is actually put myself in the situation. And I'm not comfortable putting myself in that situation out here by myself. So I'll get my brother out here with me, and we'll do some hypothermia training. That way I have somebody there that can get me out of trouble if I go too far. And the fact is, your body can react and you've gone too far that fast. So we're not doing the hypothermia training this trip. I wanted to. I'm not doing it alone. It's just stupid if I did. I'd be one of those YouTubers that you see later about that because they were doing something stupid, some type of challenge, and they wind up screwing themselves up. So by myself out here, it's not a good idea. I'm going to tell everybody, don't take chances when you're out here by yourself. And I'd be breaking every single rule doing that. So we'll wait till my brother, he goes camping with me, then we'll do it. So I've been having a lot of arguments online about Gorilla Tape, because in the course I'm requiring you to get a roll of Gorilla Tape. This is the wide one. Reason being, I've had duct tape out here in the woods. It doesn't hold up. Alright? Gorilla Tape does. And if you split your tarp, you got to be able to repair it. Depends on what your tarp material is what you're going to be repairing it with. I always slap Gorilla Tape on the tear, and then I'll stitch it up with bank line. So also yesterday during my travels, I ripped the sole off my boot right down the seam. I don't know if you guys can see, but I pulled it together, used Gorilla Tape to seal it up. Gorilla Tape lasts a very long time. It's very sturdy, and that's why I'm using it, because I got 6 miles to hike today, And it's not through this nice stuff here. You guys saw the footage of me going through that crap. I gotta go back through that. So that's why I keep Gorilla Tape on hand. Sure, there might be other tape out there that's as good or better, but I know Gorilla Tape, and what I teach is what I know, what I experience with, and what I've tested. As far as the silver duct tape, as soon as moisture starts getting into it, it just starts falling apart. Same with the sun. I mean, my survival blanket, if you guys remember, I was trying to set up shelters with it and I ripped it. That's what this here come right in play. And I'm using the same survival blanket. I just taped it up on the seam where it ripped, and it's been running great. So that's why we keep the Gorilla Tape. Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So we are at base camp. This is part 2 of our basic survival training course. We move from camp, we pick up, and we have to move and navigate to our new location. So that's part of the course. I'm actually fixing to head out and hit our nav course again, make sure that the storm hasn't knocked anything down as far as our tags and things like that for our coordinates. So I'll be filming out there here in just a few minutes. Just wanted to kind of show you base camp here. This is where we'll be doing our second day. Our first day we do a hard hike into a certain location where I teach you everything that you need to know. So this is our second day. This is our easy day. This here is where you take your knowledge that you've already learned in the first day and you replicate here. Alright guys, so when you're shooting an azimuth on the nav course, you need to dial in on your compass your actual azimuth that you're trying to shoot at. So at the beginning of the nav course, I will be giving you an azimuth to follow. So what you'll do, you'll get your compass out and you'll dial in whatever degrees I tell you. Okay, from there you want to orientate yourself. Your red needle, that's your north. You want to put it in the box. All right, red in the shed. So you want to orientate that to your north. All right, now you got your north. Now you need to get your coordinates just right. Make sure you're still in the north. Keeping yourself in north, you want to follow this angle, this degree. Right now I've got it set to 300 degrees. So keeping that on north, I know I can walk a straight line at 300 degrees to my target area or to the next azimuth location. All right, so it might tell me to go somewhere else. So the best way to do this, guys, because there's all kind of stuff in the way. All right, when you're on the course, you'll be teamed up. You'll have a buddy system. Okay, so basically leapfrogging. Now, if you got a buddy system, which we do here, just mainly so no one gets lost. All right, you can actually shoot your azimuth location where you need to go at. You can send your buddy in that direction while you're holding your azimuth true. And you can tell them, all right, move to the right, stop. And you're spotting them with your spotter right here on your compass. Your spotter right here. You're keeping track of them and you're keeping this dialed in. So once they are at that azimuth location, and you got all this debris in your way, instead of pushing right through it, because you can see over that, you can now go around, counting your, sorry guys, we had a camera gremlin. I was saying you can actually go around the obstacle because your buddy's already on the azimuth. So because you're shooting here and you're directing them past the obstacle, now they're dead in place. Now you can count your pace count. When you count this out, you'll count your pace count to it. Remember that number in your head. Sidestep around it. Don't count that. Start counting pace count again, out. Now with pace count, guys, it's very straightforward. You start with your left foot out. That's your first step. When that right foot comes down, 1. That's the pace count. All right? Every time this foot, your right foot hits the ground, that's the pace count. Now we'll go over your pace count here. We have a course set up at 100 meters so we can actually get you used to carrying your gear in the terrain so we can actually find your pace count. So hit or miss, you might be off maybe 1, maybe 2 per 100 meters. Compared to my pace count, it's quite all right. You're still going to be within 20 yards of the area. You'll be able to see exactly what's going on. So that's why we use very large targets. And the bright red, okay? You can't miss these. If you're missing these, you're obviously off course. All right, so let's get on into the course. So when I'm shooting my azimuth, guys, I'm shooting out as far as I can see in my sights with my degrees and my north in the shed. So, or what they call red in the shed. And I'm just going to keep on until I actually hit my target area. So as long as I keep my eyes on my horizon, and also out here in Florida, make sure you look down because we do have snakes and things like that. So while you're navigating this, you got to look down. You got to make sure you're not stepping on something that you're not supposed to. We got some nasty briars and stuff out here, so make sure you dress accordingly to being out in the woods. All right, we found our target spot right here. Flip it up, it's telling me 38 degrees. So what we're going to do, we're going to dial in our compass to 38 degrees. And now we're going to make sure our red is in the shed, that north is in that red box, using the mirror on the compass to reflect down, and we're going to plot our next course. So what I want to do is find a target out there on that course, something long distance I can see, and walk directly towards that while keeping pace count. Now when you come to each one of these targets, you need to write down how many paces you took. You want to write down your pace count. You want to write down what your coordinates was. You also need to write down your new coordinates. Okay, now like I said, this was a coordinates of 38 degrees, so I also want you to give me a back coordinates, which would be down here on the bottom end of your compass, which is 218 degrees. Yeah, right at 218 degrees. You want to put that down as a back azimuth. That way if you're walking this way and something's going wrong, you can always look right back down to your notes and you can shoot back the direction that you were coming from and reshoot it. Alright, next target zone. This one here says 342 degrees. So again, we're going to dial in our compass on our azimuth to 342 degrees. Alright, now we need to get our needle, our north, into that shed, and you want to be facing your target. Alright, so that's how this is set up. You went to that target, so that's where you're going to get your coordinates from. So now we're going to swing around until we get north in that box. We're going to look down our sights and we're going to pick a target down there, which we got one. So now that that target is locked in, start walking that way. So keeping my target in my sights as far as I could see, I'm actually coming up on our next coordinates before I was actually hitting my target spot. So let me show you an example here, guys. My target's down there. I was targeting the big pine right there in my backdrop. That's what I was looking at, and that's what I targeted in on. Turns out my target's closer, but keeping that azimuth to that tree, I run into the target first. So again, we go and we check out our coordinates, 86 degrees. Standing in front of our target, we'll shoot our 86 out, find our north, and we'll start hiking it out. So that is our basic survival training navigation course. So we got several of these set up. I'm not going to go all the way through the course with you because you got to be surprised. But as you can see, since it's our basic course, I can visually keep an eye on everybody out here. You can see there's plenty of open space that I can work with and keep track. Now our advanced course, that's when we get into the thick of things, and that's where that map navigation comes in, where you've got to be able to plot out a course and you've got to be able to find a target in the middle of the woods. So it's a lot more difficult. That's why it's the advanced course. This one here gets you the basics, start teaching you exactly what to do, and of course we will be covering map coordinates and map navigation in the basic. But I'm not about to stick you out here in the middle of the woods with just basic knowledge. That's for the advanced course. Alright guys, time for me to get back to camp. Alright, so this is end of day 2. I got some work done in camp here, getting everything set up. I fixed to get a fire started. Some of this material is kind of damp, but that's alright. We have ways of creating fire, so no big deal. I will be cooking up some rice tonight because I'm hungry. Those quail eggs, spam, and cactus, it was good this morning, but I'm ready to eat again. So we'll cook up some rice, maybe some chili, or maybe beans. I don't know yet. I brought both, so I've got them. So yeah, all in all, it was a good trip. Got a lot done. Got a lot of thought processing done too, making sure everything was covered. Owning a business, of course, is a big responsibility. Having a full-time YouTube channel is a big responsibility. So thankfully I get to do what I love to do. It's be out here in the woods. It's what I enjoy doing. We prep is what we've always done. We didn't jump on YouTube to start a YouTube channel and pick prepping as a good idea. It's just who we were. So I mean, it's a lot of hours, but it's what we do anyway, if you get what I'm saying. So it's well worth it to me. We have a tripod set up. There's kind of a heavy duty one, but that's alright. I wanted something to last because you know, just another thing we gotta build in our course, tripods. I don't know, kind of coming up with different ideas and stuff for the advanced course. The advanced course is going to have a lot of hiking, I can tell you that much. I will tell you this, you are allowed to have Tylenol, aspirin, any of those things that you prefer to have. I have no problem with you having that, because during the basic course it's rough. Now when it comes to the advanced course, guys, nope, you're gonna, unless you got medication that's prescribed to a doctor, you take that. But if you're just got some body aches and pains, you gotta tough it out in the advanced course. Alright, I just got back from our secondary camp today, broke it down, came all the way here, set up camp, ran both of my nav courses, added an additional 2 nav courses, then came back here, started collecting firewood, and decided I needed coffee. But when it comes to training, guys, it's just be active. I mean, this is something I'm always doing. Before I went up to Ohio, I spent 3 months hard training, trying to get my body right. So it pays off. Am I the most physically fit? No, of course not. I'm trying to. But being active, I mean, the fact is, if you come out here and you haven't been doing any hiking, your calves, your thighs, your shoulders, and your back, you're going to be feeling them by day 2. I can definitely guarantee you that. Come day 3, hopefully hopefully everybody's been training and you'll be ready to rock and roll when you get here, because it's brutal. Everyone thinks Florida's nice and flat. Florida's not flat. This is a downgrade all the way down to a riverbed. So even though it's a slight grade, trying to stand and keep yourself level while you're out here. I mean, this spot right here is about the flattest land I could find to run the camp. Everything else you're going through, you're leaning and going one way. It takes its toll on your body. It really does. But that is survival. I mean, I guess we could open up a survival course out in the park where it's nice and flat and sodded, maybe. But I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to keep it rough. Now, my throat is a little scratchy this morning. It got cold last night. It's going to get cold tonight, too. I don't think I'm coming down with anything. Even if I was to come down with something, I'd still be out here to drink some Theraflu. But I think I just got a little bit of a cold from last night. But other than that, I'm good. Drink me some coffee, start a fire, and I bring you guys in when we start a fire, and also while we're cooking. So, alright guys, so we have our fire kit here. Again, this is our fire kit that we made from Roaring Fire. I know, guys, self plug-in and everything else, right? We are affiliated with them, guys, and like I said, we use ours for our fire kit. So, and we're going to wind up using another product that we're affiliated with. Bigfoot Bushcraft, guys. They are the ones that hooked us up with these ferrocerium rods, these large ferrocerium rods. Freaking love these things. I mean, they throw some serious sparks. I like how it's got the edge on the striker itself. So yeah, that's why I love these things. And plus, they're like a ½ inch thick. Things are freaking awesome. So, we used a fire plug yesterday. You know what? We got some cotton pads here with Vaseline. Why not, right? We'll grab one of these. Tear it up a little bit. Let's get this stuff down in here. Alright, there we go. All the Vaseline off my fingers. And probably should open it up so I can actually get down there to it. There he goes. Alright. Let's seal this back up. That way we get our fire going, guys. Because I want to cook dinner tonight. I'm hungry. It is getting chilly. I think I'm just going to go with rice and beans tonight. I have some canned beans right here. And I've got my rice over there by the water filter. I got to rinse my rice first, then boil it and everything else. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll. So get our fire started, and then we'll use a tripod here. Use a tripod here, and first we'll boil our water, and then when I go to simmer it, I'll raise it up so that it can just simmer. It makes it much easier. As you might see in the background there, I've got a small fire that's burning out some of those leaves and stuff in that area. So that's going to be a designated fire pit down there. And I just needed to get some of those leaves and pine needles and stuff burned off because I ain't got a rake out here. So since that we'll be using that for the class over there for nighttime, we need it to just burn off everything. So get this fire going, and we'll get to eating. Alright guys, so you get a rice in here and get it all washed up. If you don't wash your rice, you'll get this film while you're trying to cook it. It doesn't do very well. So gonna put our rice in here. I already got some water in here. That's a cup right there. I don't have any measurements on this thing. Maybe I do. 7 ounces. Let me give it a little bit more. I'm kind of hungry today. Alright. Let's seal this back up, guys, because rain and bugs. And once I get done with dinner, I gotta go run this stuff up in the tree. Keep any critters from coming to camp. Alright, so I should have washed my hands, right? Just kind of slurry this stuff around a little bit. So now this looks like all milky. I think it's starch, actually. I think that's starch that comes off the rice. So I'm going to put it back underneath our filter here. Run some more water in it. I'm going to rinse her one more time, and then we're going to get our water level correct, and we're going to boil some rice up. Alright, so let's make ourselves a little room in this coal bed. Yeah, a lot of this wood is still having a hard time. We got hit by rain, but still get a fire going. We're going to set this in here just like that. We're going to get that water boiling. We're going to keep an eye on it. I just stir it occasionally, and after about 20 minutes, usually what I'm able to do it on, I'll pull it and I will run it up in the tripod and let it simmer. So we'll let it do its thing. Alright, so we got some bank line here. We tied a Bowman on one end, run ourselves a stick through here. This way I can just hook it against my lid top. Like that right there. So we don't lose our dinner. And I'm going to elevate it. The elevation is going to hit and miss. I got to keep an eye on it. We don't want it to keep on boiling when it's a simmer, but it's still got to cook. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. If we start noticing it boiling, we just pull it up tighter and get it higher off the fire. So we'll just keep an eye on it, listen to it. I'm not doing anything else out here. Alright guys, so we got our rice here. Let's turn it up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's hot. So I'm gonna go with chili and beans. This is wolf chili. I know, it looks like dog food. It's quite alright. This stuff is freaking amazing tasting, but it does look like dog food. It mixes so well with rice, guys. It really does. That's why I love this stuff. I eat a lot of rice. I ate a lot of wolf chili. So I'm going to mix this in here, and then we're also going to put in our beans. If I can get my hands to work. There we go. It's going to be a lot of food. Usually this meal is about 40 ounces. We made it in the past, which is a lot of food. But we're also, excuse me, don't eat with your mouth full. We're also going to be adding beans to it. So I am adding the water with it. Well, the juices anyway. I'm going to mix it up good, and we're going to suspend it back over the fire. Once this chili heats up, it will kind of go in with the rice with it. This isn't the Angus beef chunk one, but I'll tell you, it's freaking awesome. So let's go ahead and do this right here, and let's go ahead and put it back on our tripod, which is up here. By the way, guys, this is a Solo stove. It's a camp pot made by Solo Stove. This is a 60-ounce one. Works really well. So I got a toggle, basically just to hold the stove suspended here. I'm going to let this heat up, and I don't know why that is still spinning. I don't think it's part of the cooking process to do that, but anyway, I'll bring you when it's done. Alright guys, so we've got dinner. Dinner is a good thing. Alright, let me bring you guys in here. See if we can get this zoomed in here for you guys. Alright. So this actually made about 50 ounces of food. So yeah, chili, kidney beans, red kidney beans, and rice. And I will eat every single bit of this because I am freaking hungry. I love it. Alright guys, so I'm going to finish dinner. I'm going to post up for the night, make some coffee water here in a minute, and turn in a little early because wife's actually, she contacted me, she's going to pick me up earlier. So I gotta get out of the woods pretty early tomorrow, which is fine. Got a lot accomplished this trip, and looking forward to everybody that's showing up for our course on the 20th and to further dates. So hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit, kind of let you know what you'll be seeing out here. So yep, I'm gonna keep eating. Alright guys, good morning. So it got cold last night. It still is cold. So I got up as soon as the sun started breaking. Put us about 6:15 this morning. I was already awake. So the temperature dropped down in low 30s. It bounced around between 34 and 32 last night, which is pretty cold for this area. I've seen it colder here, but don't let anybody fool you and make you believe that Florida is all sunshine and beaches. I'm in Northwest Florida. It gets cold here. So with that being said, make sure you check out our weather, and I'll post it up again right there on our community post on our YouTube channel, letting everybody know what the temperatures are supposed to be as far as rain and stuff like that from our forecast in the area. As you see, I'm wearing a heavy jacket. I got a hoodie on. I got wool socks. I've got a pair top and bottom of thermals. I wore blue jeans this trip because I knew it was going to be chilly, and a long sleeve shirt and gloves. Yeah, it got chilly. So I mean, it got so cold. My Sawyer camp filter back there, I left some water in it. I filled up my canteen last night, so I had coffee water this morning, but I left water in that thing just to top everything off before we hiked out of here. It's frozen solid. I didn't think that went through. My canteen, although freezing cold, it didn't freeze. But the Sawyer, this is a plastic bag basically, it froze. So hopefully that didn't get damaged. I don't think it did. I think it just, I think it had enough room to expand. Yeah, chilly. So that is that, guys. Picked up one of these back logging trails, walking back to the pickup spot. This is actually the route we'll be taking when class is over, because it's just faster and it's easier travel going this back way in. So once you get out of the woods, we got a nice little road. Well, kind of a road, but as you know, it's decently maintained. So that is that. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all later.